We're right back at it with reading The Alien Annihilators, Chapter 11, Alien Chat. At just 5 a.m. in the morning, Selena had awoken Cleo from her slumber on the living room couch. Weirdly, she'd trusted Cleo not to make a run for it, probably because Kenneth was still at her mercy. He was frozen on one of the couches in the living room and wouldn't move a muscle. Selena's powers chilled her to the core. During breakfast that morning, Cleo asked, "How is it that you can incapacitate a human so instantly? I mean," Cleo gestured to Kenneth lying frozen on a nearby couch. "Just look at him." Selena smiled. "Remember when I made Kenneth swing his own shirt around like a fool at the cafeteria?" Cleo nodded. "Well, you see, it was actually just to send a signal to you humans that something unusual was going on, and I actually wanted someone to suspect I was responsible." "Yeah, I think I get it. You wanted someone to look into this, decide that you were some unnatural being, and come to your house trying to stop you, where you'd be prepared, right?" "Exactly, but I didn't want you to suspect what I was capable of, so I purposely made Kenneth act like a blithering fool." Selena let that sink in. Then she said, "So what stage of human possession do you think I'm actually at?" Cleo thought about that. "Well, let's see. You are able to control people's minds instantly, right? That's how you took him hostage. You made him stay perfectly still." "Yes, but what does this mean, Cleo?" It it means you are the master of mind control. You are able to immediately force them to give up their own will and follow yours." "Precisely. And this is why you stand no chance of escaping. This is why your only chance at survival is getting me through the door to this orb. And then I'll let you live. Is that clear? But why don't you just control my mind now? That way there's no chance of me escaping." Selena smiled. "But there already is no chance of you escaping. And besides, talking to someone I've possessed is dreadfully boring. Where's the fun in that?" While Selena was brushing her hair in a nearby mirror, Cleo pulled something out of her pocket, a mirror shard. "You're gonna regret not possessing me. You just wait and see," she thought to herself. So this is actually like an edit I made, and it's like to foreshadow like the fact that Cleo's gonna, it like foreshadows the fact that Cleo's gonna use this shard to is for her plan to escape. Chapter 12, The Secret Weapon. Whoa. Chapter 12, The Secret Weapon. "Whoa, who is that?" Cleo asked. They had just exited through Selena's back door, and there was a woman, only she was made entirely out of a bluish light. "This is my AI assistant, Starlight, and she'll be coming with us on our voyage. She is the personification of the database aboard the UFO, so it's likely she'll come in handy." So together they boarded the UFO. It was lying in the garage in Selena's backyard. Upon the click of a button, the roof folded into itself, so they took off into the sky. There was a lounge area in the UFO where they all got seated. "So there's a database on board this ship?" Cleo asked. "Yes. It contains the cumulative knowledge of all the aliens, or at least the ones willing to share their knowledge on the web." "The web? So it's like the internet?" "Yeah. It's a database a lot of aliens have access to and contains a wealth of information, a lot of which we'd never want," Selena began. But when she realized that she'd already told Cleo too much, she smirked. Oh, never mind, forget about it. Cleo remembered something Selena had hinted at earlier, something about aliens having a fatal weakness, one that had almost costed Selena's master his life. A plan was beginning to form in her mind. So Starlight, she knows all about this ship, doesn't she? Can she show me around? Selena narrowed her eyes. So Starlight, she knows all about this ship, doesn't she? Can she show me around? Selena narrowed her eyes. You're not up to anything, are you? Of course not. I'm just a curious girl is all. Okay, she said slowly, still suspicious. Starlight, show the girl around a little, but be back here in 10 minutes. Cleo was sure they were out of earshot from Selena. They'd walked through the metallic corridors of the ship for 5 minutes straight by now. Starlight, your master is in grave danger, and I wish to help her. Can you help me? Starlight said, without expression. Of course, the care of my master is my utmost priority. I need to know how that man from the legends destroyed Selena's master. It's the only way for me to know what I'm supposed to protect her against. I don't want the same thing to happen to her. If it is in the interest of my master, then I'm happy to oblige. The thing that destroyed Selena's master, it's called the Gauntlet of Light. This is the only weapon known to neutralize the dark powers an alien's mind possesses, and its offensive capabilities are quite effective against them. Cleo was glad to have actually learned something useful, crucial even, but she wondered, so the man of legend used the Gauntlet of Light against Lord Blazer? That is what they call him, named after his ability to blaze anything with his magical might. Yeah, but what happened to the gauntlet? What did the man of legends do with it after he defeated Lord Blazer? Legend has it he donated it to a secret order, the alien Annihilators. They are said to reside in... The AI had stopped talking abruptly, and Cleo wondered what had stopped it. I believe our 10 minutes have elapsed by now. Come, we must now go back to Master Selena. Follow me. Dang it, Cleo thought. I still don't know where to find the alien annihilators. Cleo didn't bother trying to get the answer. Their time was up, and the AI would immediately bring her back to Selena without another word. Chapter 13, The Escape. Starlight brought Cleo back to the lounge room. Hello, Selena said. Welcome back. We're getting ready to land. Already? Good, let's get this over with, Cleo said. The planet they were on looked to simply be a mass of rock, gray-brownish color. It was probably just half a kilometer squared. They landed just outside a massive structure. It looked ancient and covered in moss and ivy. On the huge stone doors, the shape of a human's hand was engraved into it. When Cleo and Selena got to it, Selena gestured to it. Place your palm there. This is how the temple is able to sense a human's presence. Cleo did as she was asked, and the temple doors opened. Once they were inside, the temple doors closed behind them. We'll need you to get back out of here, Selena reminded her. Cleo nodded, even though Selena couldn't see her. But suddenly the room lit up with a greenish light. It must have been one of Selena's powers. Now come on, we have to find the room with the orb of power. Let's go. As it turned out, the temple was a simple structure, one long corridor, and many doors to the left and right. Cleo and Selena had searched many rooms by now, still no luck. Cleo thought about what Selena had said. They'd need her if they were to get out of here. Selena can't get out of here without me, Cleo thought, but I can get out of here without her. Cleo put her hand in her left pocket. In it was a shard of mirror. one she'd gotten from Selena's bathroom before she'd went to bed. Good, you're still there, Cleo thought. I might need you later. Oh my God, there it is. I think that's it, Selena exclaimed. Cleo looked in the direction Selena was looking and saw it. It was a deep red color and it looked like it was made of thick glass. Selena gazed at it for what felt like a whole minute. That's it. I've seen it on the web multiple times. That's definitely it. While Selena slowly walked towards it, a moth towards light, Cleo silently grabbed a wooden chair sitting nearby, exited the room, and leaned the chair so the top was sitting snug, just under the doorknob. Then she sprinted down the long corridor towards the exit. Just a moment later she heard bashing. It was Selena trying to get out of that room. Cleo, you will pay for your betrayal. You will. When Cleo finally made it to the front door, she found the engraving of a hand against the door. Placed her hand there, and then the door started to open slowly. Just when the door was almost open wide enough for her to fit through, Cleo heard a loud slam sound and knew that she was a target, for it was simply one long corridor between herself and Selena. She hurriedly grabbed the shard in her pocket and raised it to her head, and just a moment later a ray of green light was sent her way. The light connected with the shard in her hand and was sent to the floor of the corridor. An explosion ensued, one that shook the temple, sending debris toppling down into the corridor. Once the door was open wide enough, she jumped straight right through it and hurriedly placed her hand where the engraving in the door was. The door began to close slowly. The door was still open wide enough for Cleo to see Selena. She was in full alien form, and she just knocked aside all the debris with her tough, scaled arms. She rushed to the door, desperate to make it out before she was locked in the temple. Thud! She made it right when the door closed, and Cleo could still hear her trying to ram the door open as she made her way to the spaceship. Chapter 14. The Reunion. Cleo was relieved to find out that Selena's spaceship was able to enter in autopilot mode upon the press of a button. It made it very convenient for her to get the ship back to Earth. During the ride back, Cleo had tried to get more information from Starlight about the Gauntlet of Light, but apparently she couldn't say anything more to Cleo without her master's permission. The spaceship landed in Selena's garage, where it was designed to land upon the press of that button, and Cleo ran into Selena's house. As soon as she saw Kenneth awake and well, relief overtook her. Cleo didn't know exactly how powerful Selena's powers were, but she doubted Selena could maintain the connection to Kenneth's mind from space. She'd been right. Cleo, Kenneth said when he saw her. He ran up to her and gave her a big hug. You're alive. When I saw you and Selena gone, I feared. Once they broke the embrace, Cleo said, Selena wanted something from me, something that puts the entire human race at risk, and tears started to come down Cleo's face, and Kenneth was afraid of what she would say next. Oh, it's all my fault. I'm the reason Selena has the orb of power. She's going to use it to resurrect her master, Lord Blazer. This took Kenneth by surprise. Lord Blazer, orb of power, human race at risk. Cleo now had her face in her hands, looking so ashamed of herself. Kenneth walked up and put an arm over her shoulders. There, Cleo. Everything will be fine. Why don't we go to my place? We can talk about all this there. Sound good? Cleo nodded, and together they left through the front door. It was now 10 p.m. at night, on the day Selena had taken Cleo on that spaceship. Cleo was seated on Kenneth's bed, while he was on a nearby armchair. They were discussing everything Cleo had been through that day, and when Cleo fully detailed how she'd escaped, Kenneth said, Wait, so you escaped from her and closed the door behind you? Cleo nodded. And the door can only be opened when a human places his or her hand into the hand engraving on the door. Cleo nodded again. Cleo, don't you know what this means? You were so ashamed you brought Selena to the orb of power. You didn't stop and think that maybe you just locked Selena in that temple for all eternity. Cleo realized he may be right. If Selena really was locked in there, then that was one less alien they had to worry about, unless... You think there's some other way for Selena to escape? 'Cause were that the case, she would have the artifact necessary to make her master as powerful and deadly as he was all those centuries ago. I'd never be able to live with myself if... Kenneth ran up to Cleo and held her lips together with 2 fingers, cutting her off. If you blame yourself for any of this, one more time I'm gonna lose it, I swear. The way you handled things in that temple, you were so brave, and that just turns me on. Cleo's eyes widened at that last bit. It what? Kenneth pressed his lips against Cleo's. He could feel her hesitation, but when he held her hands out for his neck, deepening the kiss, Kenneth knew she wanted this. The kiss continued for a while, but eventually Kenneth broke it. I think I'll sleep. Why don't you stay with me, sleep in here? It is your bed after all. Kenneth smiled at that. Fair point. Kenneth changed into something comfortable and they fell asleep facing each other. Chapter 15. Jagged Rock Isle. Kenneth and Cleo were seated at his kitchen table, having just finished breakfast. So there is really a secret order called the Alien Annihilators. That's what you said last night, right? Kenneth asked. Cleo nodded. Starlight, the AI aboard Selena's ship. She said that the Gauntlet of Light had been donated to them way back in the day. I bet you anything they still have it. A weapon like that must be the most well-protected thing within their organization. But like you said, we have no idea where to find them. Starlight hadn't had enough time to tell you. But Kenneth, we have the name of the organization. We just need to talk to someone who's informed about centuries-old societies. What about Jeff, the man we spoke to when we first learned about the aliens? Think he knows anything about the alien annihilators? We may as well see. Let's go. Hello, kiddos. What can I do for you? Jeff asked. Cleo and Kenneth were at his front door. They just knocked. We have something we need to learn more about, and we were hoping you had some answers. Can we come in? Cleo asked. Jeff seemed willing enough to help them out and led the way down to his basement. They all stood in the room with all the billboards and bookshelves. We know that you don't believe in aliens or anything, but do you know anything about an organization called the Alien Annihilators? Cleo asked. I believe I have heard of them during my studies of the Middle Ages. Now where was that textbook? Jeff walked to a bookshelf, seeming intent on finding a particular book. Aha, here it is. Jeff grabbed out a book and brought it to a desk with a lamp on it. Cleo and Kenneth followed. Studies of 13th Century Societies, Cleo said, reading the title on the cover. Exactly. If any of these books have what you're looking for, then this'll be the book, I'm sure. Kenneth turned it to the table of contents and scanned through it. There it is. The Alien Annihilators. Page 117. Jeff turned to this page and read what it said. The Alien Annihilators were established in 1220 in response to the recent alien threat to the world. They are headquartered in Jagged Rock Isle. Jagged Rock Isle, Kenneth exclaimed. Are you sure? I'm afraid so. It says so here. Wait, Cleo said. What is Jagged Rock Isle, and why are you so worried about it? Legends say that the waters surrounding it are cursed. Waves as big as skyscrapers form constantly, threatening to send any sailors to the bottom of the ocean, Kenneth said. Jeff nodded. The skies aren't much better either. They say that lightning strikes 10 times more often than in the normal storm. Their strikes twice as powerful, plenty capable of sending most air vehicles to a watery grave. Jeff straightened up in his chair and shut the book. Well, there you have it, a legendary order established to stop a supposed alien threat. It is interesting to learn the wild theories some of our ancestors had, yes? Yes, quite interesting, Cleo said, remembering that while Jeff did look into some of the strange things about their world, he didn't necessarily believe them. Very well, if that is all, then you two better be on your way. Goodbye. And that's the Alien Annihilators chapters 11 to 15. And remember to subscribe and comment and like if y'all want to need to continue this series. And goodbye.